Pisces, it cracks down on international relations and institutions. If you look at the political climate, it doesn't matter which candidate wins between Biden and Trump. Whoever wins, they'll still be cracking down on relations abroad, domestically, and overseas. Saturn can govern aspects of focus. What you focus on is what you actualize. Saturn will be retrograde for the entire summer. During next August, this August we'll see Saturn at its finest. When Venus is in Virgo, Saturn retrograde in Pisces will be maximized. Saturn retrogrades may be about 6.5 to 7 degrees. So every time Saturn goes retrograde, it'll go back about 7 degrees. This time it's going retrograde in the later aspects of Pisces, and these is governed by the Moon, Jupiter, and Mercury. And we want to rationalize this because this deals with multicultural commerce and domestic exchange between communities. When it comes to the migrant aspect, that's been popping off since Jupiter and Neptune was conjunct in 2022. But Jupiter was in Pisces that year. And now notice Saturn is in Pisces, Pisces being ruled by Jupiter. Pisces can also deal with movement across the waters and even local waters. And this involves law, arrangement, order, and even focus of people in the religious sense. So notice that Saturn retrograde can cover regulations around waters. And during the course of this transit, Jupiter and Saturn will square each other. And this can be beneficial. Jupiter and Mars will also be conjunct at some point this summer. And this is going to be one of the highlights of this summer. And this is another confirmation that there's going to be a media firestorm. Major massive events. So anybody that's in a media, communication, and data transmission, look out. Saturn going retrograde also highlights a lot of documentation again, right? And this can also lead to announcements concerning ancient artifacts. We been spoke about Saturn going into Pisces and how this can highlight religion. If you look at what's going on in the Middle East, abroad, overseas, there's a strong religious aspect tied to this. Pisces and Saturn retrograde, it benefits Virgo, Scorpio, Cancers, and Sagittarius, Capricorns, right? And all of these signs can deal with religious pursuits and expanding horizons and transformation. Saturn can deal with solidifying communities, and it highlights massive repeals in paperworks and groups. This is also about controlling community groups and establishing purpose in a sense. Saturn in Pisces highlights labor rights, and people will be focused on their spiritual beliefs attached to their labor. Saturn retrograde also highlights invisible threads in partnerships. This is a great time to renew how you want to explore your relationship dynamics. And Saturn in Pisces also benefits Virgos and some Leos. Now, Saturn retrograde, it also highlights us clamping down on emotionally and spiritually sensitive topics. Things like foreign policy and foreign laws in other lands can also come into the fray. If you look at certain religious groups and communities, Saturn in Pisces highlights authority in these fields. This highlights the authorities, presidential figures. Saturn governs the governors, all right? Remember that. Traditionally, Saturn is the last planet from the sun. So